My topic is an introduction to environmental laws in India. Indian environmental law concerns with the laws and policies of India regarding the protection of environment and the measures taken to reverse climate change and to achieve a zero carbon economy. Some important constitutional provisions of environmental law in India are: first, Article 48A. This article comes under the directive principles of state policy. It imposes a duty on the state to protect the environment from pollution by adopting various measures. Article 51A, Clause G. This article states that it shall be the duty of each and every citizen of India to protect and improve the natural environment that includes lakes, rivers, forests, and wildlife. This article also focuses on showing compassion to living creatures. Article 253. This article gives power to the Parliament to create laws for the country in order to implement any treaty conventions and agreements with other countries. By this article, the Parliament has enacted various laws in order to protect the environment, such as the Water Act of 1974, the Air Act of 1981, and the Environmental Protection Act of 1986. First is the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1981. The Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1981, or simply the Air Act, is an act to provide for the prevention, control, and abatement of air pollution and for the establishment of boards at the central and the state levels with the view of carrying out the aforesaid purposes. To counter the problems associated with air pollution, the ambient air quality standards were established under the Air Act. The Air Act seeks to combat air pollution by prohibiting the use of polluting fuels and substances, as well as by regulating appliances that give rise to air pollution. The Air Act empowers the state government, after consultation with the state pollution control boards, to declare any area or areas within the state as pollution control areas. Under the Act, establishing or operating any industrial plant in the pollution control area requires special consent from the State Pollution Control Board. These boards are also expected to test the air in the air pollution control areas, inspect polluting control equipment, and manufacturing process. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974. The Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1974 has been enacted to provide for the prevention and control of water pollution and to maintain or restore the wholesomeness of water in the country. It provides for the establishment of boards for the prevention and control of water pollution. It prohibits the discharge of pollutants into water bodies beyond a given standard and also lays down penalties for non-compliance. At the center, the Water Act has set up Central Pollution Control Boards, which lays down the standards for the prevention and control of water pollution. At the state level, the State Pollution Control Boards function under the direct control of the Central Pollution Control Boards and the state government. Lastly, we have the Hazardous Waste Management Regulations. Hazardous waste means any waste which, by reason of its physical, chemical, toxic, inflammable, or corrosive characteristics, causes danger or is likely to cause danger to health or environment. There are several legislations that directly or indirectly deal with the hazardous waste management. Some of the rules dealing with hazardous waste management are given here. First is the Hazardous Waste Management, Handling, and Transboundary Rules of 2008. These were brought out as a guide for manufacture, storage, and import of hazardous chemicals and for management of hazardous waste. The Biomedical Waste Management and Handling Rules of 1998 were formulated for the purpose of proper disposal, segregation, and transport of infectious waste. The Municipal Solid Waste Management and Handling Rules of 2000 aimed at enabling municipalities to dispose municipal solid waste in a scientific manner. Lastly, the E-Waste Management and Handling Rules of 2011 came into effect from May 1, 2012, with the primary objective to reduce the use of hazardous substances in electrical and electronic equipment by specifying the threshold for the use of hazardous material and to channelize the e-waste generated in the country for recycling. The rules apply to every producer, consumer, collection center, dismantler, and recycler of e-waste involved in manufacture, sale, or purchase of electrical and electronic equipments or components as detailed in the rules. Thank you.